My name is Justin Groff, and I went to Fishers High School, and I started a landscape company when I was 9 years old. And so, yeah, I was it was before high school, but I just started with a push mower, and it just started growing and growing. And by junior year, I had about 70 lawn care customers, and so I didn't know it was gonna be like a full-on business by then. I loved being outside and just doing the work, but it was definitely a grind, and I figured it out. And so after that, now we have about 5 crews and 12 employees, and we're doing close to $1 million in revenue.
That's incredible. And what'd you do at 9 million in revenue, and what year was that?
9 million, you said?
Oh, sorry, 9 years old, and how much revenue did you do?
Oh, okay, yeah. So 9 years old. Well, I mean, it wasn't even a business, I would say. So I just
but it's pretty incredible.
Making good money as a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? As the neighborhood kid. But it's just over time, it just completely scaled over. Throughout that time.
And so, at $1 million in revenue, how much kind of profit does that generate on a lawn care landscaping business?
I mean, typically you want to aim for 20%.
Cool.
That's the typical margin.
So ideally at 500,000, that's 100K, where you probably were a few years ago, and then really hitting a seven-figure gain is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Fishers High School. Did anybody else do hustles, or were you kind of on your own?
It was hard to find those people that had the similar mindset as I did. Obviously I didn't start out with that mindset. It took time, but YouTube helped a lot during the high school years. Learn to get that mindset and that grind to just boom, let's make a business here, right?
Amazing.
And so it was hard to find those type of people though.
Okay, and then we always like to go through a little bit the hero's journey. So did you have a mentor that helped push you or show you, or were those mentors you found on YouTube, or were there any in real life?
I would say starting out was YouTube. So Grant Cardone was a big one.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about real estate and just knowing how that all kind of works with business, marketing, selling, all that kind of stuff, how to sell, how to market. And so I just kind of took that. And then now I have a lot of great people, mentors surrounding me, and I'm super thankful for it. I get to ask and just for counsel to continue to scale the company, and I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can.
And did you kind of get a plan or a playbook from any of those mentors that you feel helped you as you've really ramped up into 7-figure revenue?
Yeah, I mean, it was, about 2 years ago, I started reaching out to a lot of mentors really through LinkedIn. So that's how I really found a lot of these people. And so I just started DMing them and messaging them, and Amazing. I learned a lot from them. But it wasn't really one specific thing. It was just all aspects in business. It could have been, a landscape mentor that owned a landscape company, or it could have been someone in software. But all of those kind of connect and relate to each other. And I just find the puzzle pieces to make the puzzle.
What's been the hardest thing as you've grown your business? What's the biggest struggle? Blown up truck or fire an employee. Where's been the biggest headache, challenge for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of headaches and struggles. I feel like you fail every day, but you got to fail forward.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the people aspect that can be sometimes hard. With you just gotta have to make sure you have a right team in place, the right culture in place, because without that, you can't service your customers, you can't scale anything, and you can't run off a system. So I'd say the people aspect was the hardest. I mean, obviously trucks, tires are flat, mowers are falling into ponds. There's just crap that happens. It is what it is, but it's how you handle this situation is what's going to keep you moving forward long term.
Yeah, and then I just love, I think for kids that aren't, students that aren't enjoying school as much, can you tell a little bit about your kind of transition and to realize, you mentioned going to the guidance counselor, or kind of committing to your business instead of college. I'd love if you feel comfortable sharing some of that.
Yeah, so going through the guidance counselor, I think everybody has those type, each individual in school. And so every time someone came in, I was like, okay, I'm the next one probably. So I came in and they asked me, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go to college? And I'm just I don't want to go to college. But they kind of gave me that look ugh, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not part of that culture. And it just kind of, I don't know. it rubbed me the wrong way, but it added fuel to the fire to make a big business out of it, out of the long term. And so it's just, I don't know. I don't see that as a negativity. I just use it for fuel to the fire, really. But I never really liked school, and all I can say is if you don't like school, just make sure that you're trusting the Lord through the whole process. But think bigger than think bigger. You just gotta think bigger, and think of things that are like seem impossible to you, because you only have one life. So why not go big in this life rather than stay small?
Amazing. Yeah, fully. And given such great advice, any other advice you'd want to hear as a high school student, a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
I would say be confident in what you do, and surround yourself with the right people. Because if you're not surrounded with the right people, you're gonna if they say if you're a drug addict and you're surrounded with drug addicts, you'll be the next one.
Yeah.
If you're a billionaire and if you're surrounded by billionaires, you'll be the next one. And so it's just who you're surrounded by is what you're gonna be as the outcome. And so I really, I'm very careful of who I'm hanging around with, who I'm talking with, and learning from as well.
I really love, I think that the house piece too. Can you mention kind of your landlord house position?
Yeah. So I bought my house at 18 years old.
How much money did you have at the time?
I mean, I leveraged a lot of it because I couldn't. An 18-year-old can't buy a house. Yeah. Okay, a bank's gonna look at you like you're crazy. You know what I mean?
Did you get like a parent to sign off?
Yeah, my mom. So that's what I had to do so I had to sign that off. And I had the cash. That wasn't the issue. It's just like I got to make something happen, because we had like trucks and trailers just sitting in HOAs at my mom and dad's house getting they're pissed about it, right? And they don't want those sitting there. And I really had to find a place to land all these trucks and trailers, and find like a central location to really work and branch off of. And so that's what I did. And then I had to find roommates because I didn't want to live by myself, and I also didn't want to pay the mortgage. And I found 6 months later, three roommates.
Give me the quick math. How much did the house cost? What was your mortgage?
So I bought the house. It was selling for $425. We got it for $395. And we got the roof, $20,000 roof, from the previous owner for free. And then the mortgage now is $2,750. So
okay, so you spend $2,750 a month.
Yeah.
And then how much do the roommates pay?
I mean, they're paying $950 each.
Wow.
I think about. So I mean, it's like I'm paying. I'm breaking even, but I'm also getting a little piece of that cash flow.
You're living for free.
Yeah.
And you're putting a little bit in that just in case you need to replace windows
or
whatever else.
And so and plus I want to help them. I'm not just trying to steal money from them. So I'm like, I really want to help them because they are wanting to be entrepreneurs as well. And they fix sport bikes and classic cars. And so I leased out those garage bays for them because there's 3 garages. And yeah, it was a great opportunity for
them. It's killer, right? And I told you I lived at home or my grandparents for most of my 20s. I think if I weren't doing that, I would have tried to buy the house and rent out rooms. It's great. And then you can pick who you're around. You can be selective about who you're
because that was the scary thing. I didn't want to pick anyone, just some slow Joe on the street and just this guy's not living in my house. Because if he was living in my house, it'd be very hard to get him out if I didn't want him there. Yeah. And so
a 1-year lease becomes a serious thing. And okay, so on the Fisher side, you're the first person I've kind of challenged on this, but have you thought about reaching out to Fisher's graduates about mentors, sharing their stories, recording their stories for current students? Is that something you'd consider doing?
I mean, I'd consider doing that because I always love giving back. I feel like it's my mission to help people just by giving back to them my time, not just money, but just time and resources as well. I have a lot of people, great people I'm surrounded with. I can help propel them wherever they want to go. And so I'm just all about collaborating.
I love that. And so if we got a group going over to Fishers High School, do a little Shark Tank, little high school hustle pitch off, would you want to tag team that?
I'm down. Let's do it.
Well, we'll look into that. And then any final thoughts for high school students, what you'd want to hear, what you think they need to hear today?
Yeah, I just say just think big and do big. Like, do not be scared. And also, like, what we're doing here is social media. A lot of this social media is the new currency. It's not money. Like, social media, you get attention, and sometimes attention is more valuable than money. And when you do social media, it helps actually a lot of people, and you reach out to a lot of people more than you think. So just think bigger, do bigger, and do the impossible. Like, what might seem impossible to you is possible to the Lord. So that's what I'd say.
Cool, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else to cover.
Yeah, it's all
Great
good.
to hang.